Then here we go on the Coinbase dashboard, and this is the new advanced trading system. So we can select our candles. We have the current candles right here. We have the hollows, and then we have the line. So if you are not familiar with what Coinbase used to essentially be, was, it used to just really be a line chart, and this is what you had to go by. But not only that, you were usually paying much higher fees, and the price at which you were purchasing at was often marked up. I know that's what I would end up seeing. If I was buying at this price, I would see it marked up a few more dollars, plus the flat fees and the percentage fee, and you were just paying, out the wazoo. Where you've probably seen it before posted on the internet that if you're trying to day trade on Coinbase, right, it's very, very difficult to be successful because the fees alone just make it impossible. But now they've added this to their commercial website, and now you can do some more advanced trading. You have your candles now, and then you can include your indicators, which me personally, guys, I just prefer the relative strength index and the MACD is really all you need. It would be nice if you could draw some lines as well, kind of the set price targets, as well as just get a better idea of possible divergences instead of kind of trying to see it in your, imagination. But we have right now 1 hour interval candles. You can set other intervals depending on the type of trading you wish to do, right? So depending, me personally, I like a 4 hour candle, but I don't see that here. So we could just take a look at a 1 hour, and that's kind of where we're at. So we can see the depth in terms of the prices and the bids. And here in our order book, we have the sell orders as well as the buy orders below, and the overall trade history right here as well. So something to note is that with the new advanced trading, you can set your limit orders. So you don't have to buy at a market price anymore, right? Well, the market price is always going to essentially be maybe the mid price of oftentimes a bit higher, or maybe just a bit lower, but you're never going to really get it exactly at the price that you're purchasing at when you do a market purchase. But with the limit, you actually can decide exactly how much you want to pay and how much you want, right? Excluding fees. And that's a much more useful feature for those who wish to do so, right? Who wish to kind of set their limit buys as well as their sells. Now, one thing I notice is that with this advanced trading, I'm not really seeing a stop loss. So normally, if you're aware what a stop loss is, let's say that I bought at 2,800 and here's the price now. Maybe if I see that it breaks below this range of support, I would like to trigger a stop loss to protect the profits in this range. I'm not seeing that. So what I see is a limit sell. So what I would have to do is set a price above the current price where I would like my sell to be triggered or filled at. So that's maybe one thing if you use Coinbase Pro that is very useful for protecting your profits, because if you do set a limit sell too high and it doesn't hit, then the price can continue to keep going lower and lower, and you'll have to kind of keep readjusting it or just wait. So I think stop loss in Coinbase Pro is definitely a big plus, as opposed to having only the limit sell and limit buy, as well as there is no stop buy as well. So for instance, if it hits a certain price, you want to trigger a buy as well, because maybe that's the breakout point where you set your stop buy. So those are two things that aren't included in the advanced trading. But to be 100% honest, it's not all that crazy. Like for me personally, I think the stop loss though is very, very useful for protecting your profits, especially if you are into day trading. So, and that's just a personal opinion, guys, right? So we can see here some price data as well. Another feature that I noticed Coinbase Pro doesn't include is the low. So it gives you a sense of perspective. Maybe more information, the better, right? So this is the Coinbase Advanced Trading. One more thing I want to take a look at as well is if you set your limit price, you'll notice that you can choose to be a taker or a maker. Well, it shows as post only, but as your volume increases in your trading, you'll find that your maker fee is going to end up being much lower than your taker fee. At least that's the case for Coinbase Pro, and I believe that carries over to here. But one thing to keep in mind is that you do have to do more volume on Coinbase Advanced Trading to get a lower maker fee, and the fee isn't so low, right? Isn't as low as you would get if you were on Coinbase Pro. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Now, if you don't use Coinbase Pro already and you've done a lot of trading on Coinbase and you're comfortable with Coinbase, then it's not a bad time to get started on the advanced trading system and just understand how these limit orders can help you save money and get more crypto for your orders, for your purchases. All right. And just like a bit of a simulation for everyone, we can see here, of course, all of my mileage is on Coinbase Pro, so that's where I get my best fees. So I'm not going to transfer it over, but if you do use Coinbase Pro, you can transfer the funds over to Coinbase and then transfer them back through Coinbase Pro as well. So we'll do another video about that, showing how you can do that, as well as how we use Coinbase Pro, because it does have some other features like the stop loss and the stop buy, which is very useful depending on your strategy. So the last thing we want to take a look at is the expiration, where we can see you can leave your limit orders good till canceled, so they will not ever close until you otherwise cancel them or they're filled. And then we have the good till time. Maybe you have to run a task real quick, maybe you're busy, you can set it for an hour and then come back and check on it and see if it has been filled or not. And then if not, you can cancel it and then re-strategize your position, or you can just open it up again at a new position. And then that is pretty much everything, guys. So we can see here, if you were looking for more information on this, what are limit orders, Coinbase made a nice little page for you guys so you could understand better. And I just don't want to forget as well, yeah, don't forget that once you place your limit order, it will display here, right? And for the time being, it won't be filled, right? So if I place a limit buy at, let's say, based on what I'm seeing here, I want to place a limit buy at 3039.71, right? Once I place that order, it will display here, but it won't fill until the price actually touches around that price range, right? And that's when my order would be filled. So until then, right, it would sit there until otherwise, until a certain time, until it's canceled or until it's filled. All right, so that is the new Coinbase Advanced Trading. Very cool, very nice user interface. And, you know, I personally haven't done any trading on it, so I can't speak on that. But I believe based on the setup, it is much more simpler and just a clean overall design to not confuse the users. So that is Coinbase. Check it out, guys. Let me know what you think. Link is in the description. And if you found any value in this video, please hook it up with a like. That's all I'm asking for. And check out for the next video. So take care, everyone. Peace out.